Welcome to Human Design Playtime, the show that discusses the highest potential and the lowest shadows of ourselves and our playmates. We use ourselves as examples and take some bold liberties to discuss public figures, even the celebrities we love to hate. Bring your open mind and a sense of humor. Who knows? We may be talking about you. Hi, Tammy.
Hi, Janet. Welcome to episode 6 of Human Design Playtime. Today we are going to talk about Adam Sandler and whatever else comes up along the way.
Yay. I love Adam Sandler. Thank you for choosing him.
Yes, he is definitely one of my favorite comedians slash actors. And looking at his design was interesting. It was interesting to see.
I am such a big fan. Can I do a little preface?
Yeah, please.
Oh, I love him. So he was born in Brooklyn, but mainly raised in Manchester, New Hampshire. He got his big break on the Bill Cosby Show and then went on to write for SNL, Saturday Night Live. And then he'd get these cameos uh, where he could show off his musical prowess. Um, so I think of him as an actor, comedian, and musician. I like his special that came out right before the pandemic, where he does a lot of music. He loves to work with his same friends and comedians, David Spade, Chris Rock, Kevin James. I'm not sure how to pronounce his name, but Jack Giaraputo. um, and I like his goofy comedy, like the slapstick stuff, like Don't Mess with the Zohan. But I also like his deeper, darker stuff, like The Cobbler and Uncut Gems. Um, do you have any favorites?
I liked, so I like a lot of his movies, and I love that he brings in he gathers together his friends and brings those. He has that in his design. I would say Grown Ups was one of my favorite movies that he's done, but many others, I really enjoy.
Oh, yeah. Grown Ups was so funny. Are there things that you see in his chart that are notable to you?
Yeah. So he has the 45, which is gathering together, and it's very prominent in his design because it is in his um, unconscious core essence. He's a 45.2, which is about gathering people. It's part of the tribal leadership strength, it's the trait of educating the tribe. And you can see that with how he uses the same group of people in most of his films.
That's a good point. And who knows who amongst that group defines that center, the heart center or the
Mm,
ego.
mm,
Yeah.
mhm. Whoever, maybe he has that person that is kind of controlling his resources, that's part of that input. They say that the 21 can help to control the resources for the 45.
Mhm. Hey, I'd love to collaborate. I've got the 21.
Right? And he is a collaborative assimilation. Has a little bit of a split up at the top. They're the 43 to the 23, or is it I can't see. I think it's the 17 to the
Mhm.
11. Or no, it's the 11 to the 56. The 56 is a storyteller, speaking about past experiences. The other thing that I noticed, which he has his own production company, is he has the strength of direction.
Guys, he's
The
got
two
some pent
14,
strength.
mhm.
Yeah.
And that 1 8, like you have, Janet.
And I noticed this is what I heard in school like a couple years ago in human design school about a lot of people who have the 1/8 like Adam Sandler has, like I have, the people who really have a drive to express who they are.
Mhm.
Like Adam Sandler has a very unique voice, right? He has a defined throat or communication center, but he has a defined voice. You can imitate him. Like the things he did in the 90s, he has a certain way of speaking.
Yeah.
And that is a very fixed thing about the defined throat. And that 1/8, I heard in school that a lot of performers and singers and teachers, songwriters have that.
Mm.
It's just this, it's a defined way and a reliable way of a channel to express who we are. And he certainly does that with his songs, like even like his song about his wife, his song, phone wallet keys. Like, I mean, it's great. His song about his relationship with Chris Farley, like, and the Hanukkah song from 30 years ago. Everybody remembers that song. So I think of it as the song. It's not just public relations, but it's that songwriter, that drive to express, and it's from a personal place.
Mm. Interesting. Yeah, I can see seeing the 1/8 and the people thinking about the people that I know that have that. It makes me want to know if they all have that song talent. So if you have a 1/8 in your profile, let us know. Like, do you love to sing?
Yes, please let us know.
Yes. Um, so his core essence is 64, which is about something else I was thinking. So, one moment,
Uh,
please. Do you know what the
One
40?
moment, please. Please hold for technical. And while you're looking that up, I'm staring at his wide open spleen, like just staring at it. There's no gates, no traits, no nothing. A lot of people have like one little gate hanging to flavor how they're going to filter survival instincts,
Hmm.
but he doesn't have any. And that doesn't mean that it's so funny when people misinterpret the language of human design. Like, what do you mean I don't have a spleen? I don't have a survival instincts? No, that's not what we're saying. Hold your
Right?
horses.
But with it being completely open like that, um, it's interesting. What I've noticed with my own completely open conceptualization is sometimes it's harder to connect in the moment. Sometimes they have a harder time with the spleen, maybe can be very fearful or completely fearless, where fear doesn't really play a part in it.
Mm. And I have the open spleen, and it's advised like, don't make a snap decision.
Mm.
Like, I have family members who have defined spleens, and that's even how they make their decisions of don't argue with them.
Mm-hmm.
They're going to change it that moment, and that's that. We're not going to this restaurant. Oh, I said I was I'm not going. Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
Yep.
Um, his 26, which is down on his undefined willpower, that is about marketing and being able to. And I hate the word manipulate, but the manual talks about manipulating the tribe for the tribe's own good. Um, what do you think about that?
That entire channel, which he doesn't have the whole channel, but it's the salesperson.
Mm.
It's the person who's gonna, the front man who's gonna go out and sell the cars and who's gonna get paid a lot of money and who's going to be the showman and maybe tell some long tales, like maybe exaggerate a little bit to make the sale, but it benefits everyone in the back. It benefits the manufacturers, everyone who works there. It's a needed person. And again, it, like you said, Tammy, it's a tribal trait. It's a tribal part of the channel, which is for the good of everybody in that small local community. It's not global, it's small local, like my people. So if we look at who he keeps rehiring, like these are my people. He's been known to say, like, I hope everybody likes the movie, but me and my friends do it because it's great for us and it's for our fans. It's for us. He's
Mm.
not here to please everybody. And I will admit that when I was younger, I was in my early 20s. I liked him on Saturday Night Live, but I had a resistance to seeing his any of his movies because the trailers looked so dumb. And so my boyfriend at the time, his test to see if I was a valuable girlfriend, he goes, I want you to watch this movie. I think it was Happy Gilmore. And I was rolling my eyes, and he kept watching me because he talks about such tender issues, overcoming hardships, the underdog, like in a lot of his earlier movies, even his later movies. So, um, anyway, I passed the test. But I did fall in love with his movie once got past the goofy stuff, and then I fell in love with the goofy, and because he really does have great messages, and he's
Yeah.
so funny. He's so funny. But again, bringing it back to that tribal trait of he's hiring his friends, he's doing it for his fans.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
And his profile, he's a 6'2" profile. So that leader, um, hermit, where he's being called out for his gifts. I wonder who in his community calls him out the most for, for his uniqueness, for his gifts.
I think Dennis Miller was the one who discovered him and told Lorne Michaels at SNL, be like, hey, you got to check out this guy. Like somebody noticed his gifts.
Yeah, that would
Um,
make sense. Yeah.
yeah.
And then the sixth line is under that trait 64, where he actually has that full strength, which is abstract plus realization, which becomes the strength of the experiential process. So I would venture to guess he's very process driven, where his mind tends to consistently be able to follow the same kind of path. I don't have that strength personally.
Nor do I.
Yeah, but the 64 is really someone who is great at being of assistance, doing their job, and helping others. I think that we see that a lot from him. And then the 47 is someone who is able to um, put things together with the right action to get the work done.
Ah, okay.
So I feel like a lot of his traits, a lot of his strengths really pull together not only his acting career, but also having a production company and the vision to pull together a community uh, and kind of repeat the process with other creative outlets.
Yeah. Yeah. Really neat. Do you have any traits that he has that you relate to, or centers that are defined that you relate to?
Um, well, I have a defined communication and action, um, my identity and direction, and the generative energy. I have those three. They're kind of in the middle, all of that defined, but through different strengths. I don't have the only traits that I have that he has is I have the 16, which is skills, but I have the whole strength, the 16 to the 48, which is about skills plus depth for the talent. And then I have the 45 and the 56. but otherwise, I don't have the same. We are not that similar, me and Adam Sandler. How about
Uh,
yourself?
Can you can you help remind me? I can't see it because it's so small, but the skills and the talent,
Mhm.
the one that he does not have is the one he'll be attracted to.
Yeah.
And that is which one?
Depth.
Depth.
Yep. And you
Mhm,
have
the one near the spleen.
that trait. So you would define his spleen. Actually, we're
Right. I
both
would,
good with the 44 as well.
right. Right. I would define him there and complete that channel. I'd complete I complete 3 channels for
Yeah.
him and the 21. Yeah, interesting.
And I could
Interesting.
complete 1, 2, 3 because I have the 23 as well, but we wouldn't have the 48 to the 16 as an electromagnetic, though.
Mhm.
That would be the
And
only.
this would be my time to say, which I should have said earlier, this is the disclaimer. Adam Sandler is not our client.
Mhm.
He didn't hire us. We're just big fans. We are big fans of human design. We're big fans of Adam Sandler, and we love doing public profile charts. Assuming this is the correct information for his birth information, then this would be his chart. If it is not the correct time, then it is not his chart.
And I don't know that this would be the correct time because I pulled this out of a system and it's like 12 o'clock noon. So that's
Oof.
typically when somebody puts in, just kind of the guesstimate. So this is
Yeah.
probably not a perfect chart for him, but it's what we got.
He's probably a manifesting generator of some type. Um,
He is a manifesting generator of some type. Well,
yeah, I mean, even if it's not
if
this
it's not
time, he
his.
might be, yeah, later in the day.
Mm.
I really admire all of you manifesting generators because you have the staying power to grab onto the one of your many interests, one of your many projects, and then keep going until you're done going in that direction. Like a pure generator is amazing too. A pure generator will not have the communication center defined, and they will go step by step by step and have to keep checking in with their response to respond and go, can I continue? Can I continue? Is this right for me now? And they have to keep getting yeses all day long, whereas you guys can just plow ahead. And sometimes the things to look out for manifesting generators, tell me if it's true, is you might get really jazzed about something, go full steam ahead, not quite ready for it, and then realize, oh man, I forgot the first 3 steps of the process. I got to go back and do this whole stupid thing over again. So, do you have that? Does that happen to you, or did you ever have that happen to you?
Yeah, I would say that sometimes I skip some steps. I don't know if it's 3 steps at a time, um, but I can at times be very rambunctious and get really excited and take off and then have to go back and kind of correct some of the things that I did before. Mm,
Mhm.
yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, and it's for manifesting generators or express builders, it's actually correct for us to pivot whenever we're not finding that satisfaction anymore. Where the classic builders or the, generators, typically they're going to find something that they enjoy doing and just kind of repeat the process, where we tend to be a little more, people seem to feel like manifesting generators might be all over the place because we have so many different interests. But later on in life, we kind of pull all of those together into something new.
Hmm. Neat.
Is there anything additional that you see? Move out of the way.
I
He does
mean,
have that
it's really,
undefined emotional
if we had, oh, the emotional intelligence.
intelligence.
Yeah. I mean, if we had a better birth time, we could know a little bit more of what's really accurate.
Mhm.
So, but I can only relate to the undefined emotional center as hey, I might react any kind of way. And the superpower can also be like, ooh, I can really feel what this other person is experiencing. And
Yes.
the wisdom is knowing it's not mine. Like
Yes.
it is not mine. And
Yeah.
I spent my earlier years getting enmeshed and
Mm,
not being able to separate. Yeah. Um,
I can relate to that.
you can too, right?
Hmm. And even sometimes when I'm sad, I might struggle to cry. Now, when I drank, I was known as the crier in the group, as feeling everybody's emotions. But I don't drink much anymore, so I don't really have that where I feel and aren't I'm not aware that it's my own. You know, alcohol has a tendency to do that. You know, make you not see things clearly.
Yeah. And it also lowers those barriers so that you can actually express how you are feeling that you've been hiding, maybe.
Yeah, yeah. We
Mm.
we got home the other night and one of our ducks had gotten into the horse's trough, the horse's trough, and yeah, and yeah, just exactly what you think. And my daughter had to be, she got home first and had to get it out. And I'd seen her on the video. We were at an event together. She was taking pictures at one of my events, and she was like, "If I hadn't gone to that event, I would have been here." It's like, yeah, but we can't. But feeling her emotions and and her naturally, like she did have tears. She was crying, and I've been wanting to have a good cry for a couple weeks, but it just is not coming. Do you ever have that where you feel like you want to get a cry out, but it's just not happening?
I have had that in the past, and I don't cry very much now.
Yeah, me either.
Like I cried when I hurt myself
Mm,
6 weeks ago,
yeah.
and then the next day, and then not since.
Hmm.
Um, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I don't know. And some people are very weepy, and that's okay too.
Hmm.
And I think the last podcast we did about Jim Carrey, we were talking about the individual channels,
Hmm.
the mutative pulse channels, and how that brings that melancholy. Like it can bring that sadness, it can bring that sadness and depression. And then boom, it's gone. And oh, it came back. Um, so it used to baffle me when I was younger. And now that I'm older and lived a little bit, I'm not so worried about it.
Hmm.
Yeah. And you know, some people who love to I did massage for years. I mean, I'll still do it in the future, I hope. Um, some clients would get headaches only on the weekends.
Hmm.
Like they would build up, build up, build up. And then in their free time, they would either get sick or have headaches. And then as they got more massages, did more regular exercise, ate differently, they weren't that tense all the time. They didn't have that buildup. And I think of it also in the emotional center too, of like not knowing how to express and just operating in a conditioned way. And in human design, they talk a lot about conditioning.
Hmm.
We get conditioned by our parents, our city, our communities, our culture, um, our animals, our everythings. You know, we get conditioned, and we're supposed to be conditioned because we're tribal and community people. So I know there's a lot of talk in the human design world of like, you know, approximately 7 years of deconditioning, of learning to shed imposed ways of behaving, feeling, and thinking. Um, and embracing and experimenting with a new way to make decisions, a new way to um, separate from people temporarily and see how we feel when we're truly in our own little orbit, and how we feel when we're together with certain individuals. Like that's the experiment. And that's the stuff that like you and I love about this. We are the experiment. I'm the experiment of my life. You're the experiment of your life. And I love watching clients go through it. I love watching cousins and family members go through it. Like it's really a privilege to do this type of work. It's fun.
It really
It's
is.
fun.
It really is fun. Yeah, the conditioning there's a lot of talk about like nature and nurture. So your nature in your own chart is anywhere you're colored in or defined is the technical word. But if you think about the in the functions in the centers where they're colored in and defined, that's where you have consistency and less likely for conditioning. It's not that conditioning can't happen in those defined areas. You can also be unhealthy where you have that definition. Sometimes when we're conditioned by people in a not healthy way, it can also like, I can know that I experienced kind of a loss of my identity at one point, even though I had that definition. I experienced where I wasn't sure of my path, and I'm really designed, and I always have known my path, except for after, some pretty intense trauma. And so just know that we can be healthy or unhealthy anywhere in our design, in the deconditioning process, and learning to be in your own energy and enjoying being in your own energy, understanding who you are as a being here on earth, I think is really pretty powerful. I feel like it's a really great gift that you can give yourself.
Wow. Yeah. And that's how this podcast came to be because we're both like excited about it, both nerds. And if anybody wants to learn more about it, if you want a session with both me and Tammy, or just Tammy, just me, if you want to take a course, it's so much fun.
Mm-hmm.
You can do one session or sign up for a lot and really go deeper, like much deeper, and understand yourself, your family, your coworkers, and understand why you might not click so well with this one coworker or one family member. We can't change them or you, but there are some strategies you can learn to reduce resistance. It's just so much easier.
It all starts with awareness. Once you understand your uniqueness, your strengths, it really does empower you to not be as conditioned or like down the like ups and downs of other people's energy. When you understand who you are by yourself, you can walk into a room with a lot of people and not, feel the need to shift and to be something that you're not. You become very empowered and um, grateful for your own strengths.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you, Tammy. There's a real freedom in that.
Yeah, I think so. I think so. Well, this has been fun as always. Next week, we will be talking about who did we say we were going to talk about? Serena
Serena
Williams.
Williams.
Yes, Serena Williams next week. So we're excited about that. So tune in. Please keep sending us messages. This is an experiment for Janet and I as well. So any insights that you have, any people that you would like us to overview, we're definitely open to some collaboration, and just send us a message.
Yeah, you can find us on YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, Pinterest, all thanks to Tammy.
Systems and structure. Here we go.
Thank you, everybody.
Have a great week. Bye bye.